Okay. So we have actually one more story. Okay. And well, we've got two more stories really. So the first story is about somebody that basically, when we look back at film, and I always say this, we look at the here and now and the, you know, back at film 5, 10 years from now. Okay. Jennifer Lawrence is one of the greatest actresses of this generation. Okay. I'm not going to say of all time, but because it's just a lot. She's only 34 years old. Okay. She dominated the 2010s. Okay. She won her only, she's been nominated 3 or 4 times. She won her Academy Award for Silver Linings Playbook back in 2012. She's a fantastic actress. So, reason I bring this up is a couple of things. Number one, we just had No Hard Feelings come out, okay, which is a complete departure from her. So anybody who has followed Jennifer Lawrence's career, basically she has done, the up and coming things like The Winter's Bone and everything else. But once 2012 came, that was her year, and she took off. And there is another somebody. The minute she got cast as Catrice, her life changed. So here's the piece. Here's the reason why I bring this up. So according to THR, okay, she said she was immediately turned down for Twilight and almost didn't take on Hunger Games because of the fandom. Jennifer Lawrence opened up about how she auditioned for Twilight and turned it down, quote, immediately, only to land the Hunger Games a year later. During an appearance on the Rewatchers podcast with Bill Simmons, the No Hard Feelings actress explained that she didn't even get a callback for the role of Bella Swan, which eventually went to Kristen Stewart, but she's glad she didn't. My life would have been totally different. I mean, the work is still the same, but I feel similar when I was doing the Hunger Games. I had to churn out movies in between, so I'm not only known for the franchise. I was still in a franchise, so I was trying to counteract the franchiseness, and I was still doing that if I was in Twilight. She revealed that she almost didn't agree to the Hunger Games because she was worried about the immense fandom that could come with it. The Oscar winner explained that she had tried talking to people about how she was concerned to join a massive franchise, but they didn't understand what she was trying to say. It was so hard to explain to people, Lawrence continued. It was like, I don't think you understand this level of fame. I just assumed it was going to be like Twilight, like the Twilight level of fame, and that there was never something I had, that was not something I had in mind. Instead of superstardom, the Silver Linings Playbook star shared that she simply wanted to work on quality projects. I wanted to do indies, and I wanted to do good films, but I didn't want to be the most famous person on the planet, she added, adding that she would have been, quote, miserable if she had landed in Twilight. That's a very different life. That's what I had pictured for myself. Lionsgate is rebooting the Hunger Games with the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which takes place over several decades before the events of the original franchise. The film follows an 18-year-old Cornelius Snow, played by Tom Blight, where he becomes the tyrannical president of Panem, and the District 12 tribute, Lucy Gray, played by one Rachel Ziegler, during the 10th annual Hunger Games. The prequel features an entirely new cast, but Lawrence recently said she wouldn't turn down the possibility of returning to the role one day. So, let's talk about this in a couple ways. Number one, I think that we lose sight, and when I say we, I mean general audiences, we lose sight of they're people too. They're just people. Now, the only difference between you and I and everybody else, okay, and movie stars and people, they're in the public eye. So they have to be a lot more careful. They have to be a lot more careful of what they say, how they say it, when they say it, and why they say it. Because not only are they a role model to young women, in this case, but you have millions and millions of fans. And it's one of those things that it's you got to remember, back in 2012, right? She was 24 years old. This is brand new to her. She's only been at, she said, I wanted to do indies. This is exactly what. Look at what happened with Kristen Stewart after Twilight. She went dark for several years. You didn't see her in another major motion picture for years. Why? Same thing with Patterson. Why? Because they wanted to get rid of the stigma. They wanted to say, hey, look, I'm not that Twilight girl. I'm not that Twilight guy. Okay? And that's the same thing. This franchise helped her set her up for all of these roles down the road. When you look at what she did after, okay, I'm talking about Hunger Games, but I'm also talking about films like, which she won, as I said, where she won her Academy Award. Okay, sorry about that, guys. StreamYard just doesn't like me sometimes. But the Hunger Games set up everything she did. I mean, she played Mystique for how long? But she was contractually had to do that. Okay? So, but the Hunger Games set her up for the next 10 years. I mean, she got American Hustle, which she got nominated for an Academy Award for. She got Joy, okay, which she got an Academy Award nomination for. She got Serena, okay, and she got, a couple of other films. What do those all have those three films have? Well, two of those three films have Bradley Cooper in it. So, but she made it. But the point is that she is a person too. And I think we lose sight as a general audience of it's difficult. It is difficult being a star in Hollywood and having to walk on eggshells. And, I'm glad that I think a lot of people are glad she turned down Twilight. She didn't get a call back for it. But can you imagine if anybody, file this under, there's nobody else I could have seen play Katniss. That's what it comes down to. And I think that all of that being said, I think at the end of the day, we as a society need to take a step back and realize that they're people too. They are. They're like you and me. Okay, no matter where you are in the world, the only difference is they're in the public eye. And moving forward, I mean, now she's a mother too. I mean, you're going to start to see, and that's why she took a movie like No Hard Feelings, because she had been known for this dramatic kind of role. I mean, look at her filmography. She's doing films like, she did Hunger Games, which was a franchise that blew up, but look at all the films after that. Okay? Once again, I mean, this picture gives a pretty good idea. Okay? She did American Hustle. Okay? She had to come back for Dark Phoenix because she was contractually able to. Okay? And not only that, she does Serena. She does, as I said, American Hustle. She does Joy. They're all serious roles. But now she goes to do something like, No Hard Feelings, which is a raunchy comedy, and everybody's like, oh, whatever. This is exactly, she got typecast. And she didn't want to be typecast. This is exactly what happened with Robert De Niro many moons ago. The man was only known as a cop or a gangster. What does he do? He goes out in 1994 and he does a little movie called Analyze This with Billy Crystal. It's a huge hit, smash success, because nobody ever thought Robert De Niro could be funny. He then goes on to do films like Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, Bad Grandpa, all these other films. I think you're eventually going to start to see her get back to it, but she wants a stretch in which she can just do something that she wants to do. So I know how they truly feel, but that's the bad thing with indie films. When it comes to Patterson and Stewart, was the fact that cinemas will hardly release them to more areas. It's difficult to see some of them. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, though, Antonius. They didn't want to be on the map anymore. They only will. I mean, they didn't want to do that. I mean, only as of a couple of years ago, okay, it was only a couple of years ago that Kristen Stewart finally got back in and did Spencer, which she got an Academy Award nomination for. Okay, she's back on the map, and she could go out and do a Charlie's Angels, and she can do these things. Okay, Patterson was nowhere to be seen, and once again, when we're talking about casting, okay, we just had breaking news today of the Superman casting that changed his life. Robert Patterson is one of only 7 guys to ever play the role of Batman. Think about that. That changes it. Whether it's Adam West in the campy 1960s version in that movie, or you had Michael Keaton, or you had Ben Affleck, or you had Val Kilmer, or you had Christian Bale, okay, or you had George Clooney. You have 6 people. He's the 7th person. That's it. That all being said, that's why he went off the radar. And now he's back. And it's the same thing with them. And Superman is one of those things that changes your life. It changes your life. Just like a Batman, just like when Ridley got cast as Ray, just like when she got cast as, Candace, okay? It changes your life. And I think that the thing is, we don't, and I'm guilty of this too, we don't look at them like that. We look at them as stars. I agree what you mean. But if you feel better with movies outside of Blockbuster, good for them. Definitely. And see, that's the thing. What they can do, okay, it's a one for me, one for them. When you get to a status like that, you can do that. It's one for me, one for the franchise. And that's the big thing. So, but, I think that, but the moral of the story is this. We have to be a little more cognizant of who these people are. Because it's not Jennifer Lawrence, the movie star, it's Jennifer Lawrence, a human being. And she's a mother now, and she wants to do all these other things. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this story about Jennifer Lawrence almost not taking Hunger Games? Who would you rather have seen there, Candace Everdeen? Could you imagine her playing in Twilight? Leave me your thoughts down in the comments, and I'm going to get back to everything.